Hello, welcome to So Fresh, So Fat, the podcast. I am Vic Pondia. You can follow me on Instagram at Vic Pondia.
Hey guys, I'm Sohrab. You can follow me on Instagram at Sohrab is Brown. Thank you.
Hey, and I'm Pete. You can follow me at the Coffin Banger.
Enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show.
Here's what I think they should do. I think every month we pick a fetish, and that's what everyone has to jerk off to that month.
I like that. Do you think
You
you'll?
like that?
I think you'll find things you're into and find out.
I think you will discover new things.
I don't think there's anything new I can fucking discover.
You don't think so?
No.
You've been. I feel like
I've
you've
gone down some dark path.
You've hit the end of Pornhub. I feel like.
Yeah. I've gone to page 664.
Yeah.
I've
Have
seen
you been
as
to an
much as
orgy?
I can see, huh?
Have you been to an orgy?
No, I've never been to an orgy. I've never even had a twosome. I've never had a twosome for that
It's not a
matter.
big game for a guy who's never been to an orgy.
No, I haven't.
I've been to an orgy.
I know a lot
You've
of
been to an
people.
orgy?
Several orgies.
You're
Really?
so foolish.
Did you take your shirt off?
The guy
No.
doesn't. He's been
Did you
with
take
one
your shirt
chick.
off?
Yeah.
I've never been to an orgy.
Why
He's
is
been
that?
with one girl for
Whatever
God's sake.
leave
What
if
orgy
he
I've
did
did.
he
been
go
to
to?
a pool, but I rarely take my shirt off. I'm just saying.
I see what you're
Did you
saying.
get
Oh.
involved?
You're Mexican. You get in the pool with your shirt on.
Yeah.
I do
I
that
get in
too.
with my boots
I
on.
do that too. I'm not gonna lie.
That is such a. It looks worse. Are we not? It's not a wet T-shirt contest. It looks bad. It's hot on a woman because you
Yeah.
can see. You don't want to see that for a man. Like you don't want to see the. I mean, I guess some people do. Whatever you're into.
Surprised.
You be okay. No, never been to an orgy. I don't know if I would. I don't
It's not
think.
my bag.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I can't. I don't even jerk off to more than two people going at it. It's
Oh,
always
really?
two people.
What?
It's always two people. I don't jerk off to. If there's like a threesome, I won't jerk off to it.
Purist. Purist.
I'm kind of a purist.
What is that? A third person? Oh my god.
Get out of there!
What is that? What is that? Four breast? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I've never done it. Don't do it.
I think the dumbest pornographies is when there's two sets of people doing it.
Yeah, at that
Just
point.
like right next to each other.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
this,
what I'm saying. It's weird. I
Yeah,
think that's
what
weird.
I'm saying. That's why I don't.
That's an orgy, though.
That is an
yeah,
orgy.
but that's,
Right?
go to an orgy.
Well,
Yeah.
if they could, they wouldn't be jerking
We
off
should
on
go to an
porn.
orgy. Go and just
If
do
you guys
this.
want, I have a friend who manages a sex club, like
What,
where-
in
like
Chicago?
a
Ask
key
him if
club.
we can-
Yeah,
Should we do
It's
a
in-
podcast there too?
Yeah, ask
We-
him if
we
can
could
do
if
it.
you
Yeah,
want.
I'd love to do an episode.
Yeah, they have folding
Can you guys
chairs.
keep
We
it
can
down,
set up a room.
They have full. Hey, we're trying to get the intro. Could you quiet, please?
Yeah, all of that, all of that.
Wait, so tell us more about the sex club. Is it underground,
it
obviously?
located?
I mean, it has a website. Like they don't advertise. I don't think they can. Like you have to like search it. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And I don't feel comfortable
Tell us-
sharing the
No,
name
no,
of it
for
right
sure.
now.
But how does
what
it
are your
work?
questions? Yeah, from what I have gathered, my
I'm so
buddy's been the
curious
manager
about
of it
this.
for a
Why is
while.
two-
Your wife has been the manager?
No, my buddy.
Oh, I think your wife has been a
No,
manager.
no.
Is it a Hotmail email account that I email? I feel like it's probably a Hotmail.
Yeah, Hotmail is.
I think it was for a grip, and they just came around to Gmail.
So here, I really got a question about that.
Yeah.
I know everybody jokes about that,
Sure.
about Hotmail. Why is it?
Gee, do you have a Hotmail, Pete?
No, I don't. But why is it not cool to have a Gmail, or why is it more
different
cool
ones,
to
you
have,
mean?
Yeah, like,
You
Well,
yelled
not
at us on the
accept-
way here for not having iPhones.
Yeah, this is
but what does that
Why
have to do
is it
with
not cool
an
that we
email?
don't
Is
have
an email.
iPhones?
if you are going to apply for a job and you apply with a Hotmail,
Yeah.
you're not going to get the
The
job.
resume filter will filter you out.
Yeah.
But I
You're
don't
not gonna get
understand,
it.
like,
Yeah.
why? What's the difference between
You know what
a
it
Hotmail
actually?
and
I'll
a
tell you that.
Yahoo?
I'll give you an
It's
honest
the boost
answer.
phone of emails.
I'll give you an honest answer.
Thank
it
you,
means
Vic.
that
That
it
makes
means
sense.
that you're not technologically savvy.
Correct.
Because it means that you're not willing to learn how to filter your old emails to a new email address. Whenever someone uses an outdated email address, it's because they don't want to deal with having to change all their subscriptions
for their
Yeah.
stuff.
When in reality, it's just like a keystroke. You just
It's
go
like
to
how
your
there's not
settings.
AOL anymore.
Yeah.
There's not AOL
It's
anymore.
because you don't want to change your AOL account because you're like, well, I have too many things attached
So
to
is
it.
Yahoo like bad to have?
Yeah.
Some people like Yahoo. I mean, I know some people who like Yahoo because they supposedly don't sell your info as much. So I know, but Yahoo, it's embarrassing. It looks bad.
It just also like Gmail is the newest
Yeah.
email, so it's like cooler to have a Gmail. Like
Gmail lets you do a lot. Like you can change it. So
I have a
it's-
Gmail too, but I don't know the
Well, you
password.
can
I
change
don't
it
know
so
anything.
people email Pete at info@petesbarbershop.com.
Yeah.
Like
You
that's what your email should be.
put an alias.
That's the most professional thing to do.
Yeah.
Is people who have their shit together will
I think I have that on the website.
I think you do. Yeah, you do.
I think I do.
But that's
That's what it
again,
should be.
that's
and
a
that's
feature.
why I said I don't even know the password. So
But Tyler's
I'm
also-
sorry for not getting back to anybody on those emails that you sent me.
Tyler is also right. It is 100. It's an app. It's the Boost Mobile of email addresses.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for.
And it's very like if you're again going back to the job example. I used to work in recruiting. It's very easy to create an email for applying for a job. Like it should be.
But I just feel like once you set up an email for like, let's say my iPad or whatever, like my email is hooked up to everything.
Yeah.
So it's like now I have to change all of that. Like, isn't that kind of a pain in
Pete,
the ass?
I saw your phone, man. You don't yell about technology.
I don't know anything about technology.
I know you don't.
I know.
And you're far
I don't
too.
need to.
You're too far gone for help.
But why do I
You
need
have the
to?
giant font.
I cut hair.
He has the giant font.
Is a giant
I
font.
cut
Giant
hair.
font.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
Why do I need a fancy email? Why are you emailing a barber?
It's a good point. It's a good point. I'm trying to get an appointment. You're emailing Pete.
Yeah, don't email me for an appointment.
But it's
go by
very funny to
text.
picture Pete
is
at a
texting
computer
bad?
working.
Clippers in one hand. He's trying to like type with the clippers.
He's wearing his full like barber
Is
outfit.
texting bad? Do people still text?
What the
people
fuck are
text.
you?
I don't know. I'm asking. Like, I didn't know if I was fucking.
Pete, do you? Are you?
Pete, you're not far off with that question though, because like calling on the phone is the equivalent of using Yahoo. Like calling somebody on the phone and be like, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?"
See, I like to do
That is
that.
like you
Yeah,
know,
I know
you can
people
text
of
me.
your age.
Yeah, they
Do
like
you know
that.
love
why?
to do that.
Because I'll explain to you the reason why. Because you
You have
can't
arthritis
explain-
in your fingers. And
You can't. So if I say something, try to say something funny, it doesn't come off in a text.
because you're not utilizing the use of emojis.
Emojis, punctuation, spaces,
spacing.
uppercase,
This sounds,
lowercase.
Uppercase,
this sounds like
lowercase.
computer work. Once again, I cut hair.
Yeah. No, it is funny when older people try to make a joke because it'll be like something period. It looks so like stark. You're like,
Yeah.
are you
I
mad
do
at
that to you
me?
guys? Do I do that to you guys?
Yeah,
in
I've
the
had to
text?
learn too.
Guys,
Yeah.
can I ask you a question real quick based off this? Since like the dynamic of this show is really evolving into like your guys' slight generational gaps and how we can find the funny in it. Do you guys think since when we were growing up around the 30-year-old mark, 90 to 93, 94 in
89.
age, sure, good enough. What I'm getting at is in our schooling, we were given computer classes like Pete was probably given a typing class. Or
Oh
something.
yeah, you were
So,
never
like,
given a
do
computer.
you think,
We did have typing class.
Pete, 1 second. Do you think since we are becoming like the inheritors of the planet, we should now have it be to where like old people should take a test and be like, hey, can you even use that fucking phone? Like go to the T-Mobile and like make sure you're verified. Like you have to go to the DMV.
That's not a bad idea.
so that way we
line
don't,
of old people trying to
just,
pass
but
the
like
test.
a business for it where we're like, hey, are you still on Yahoo? That's like a question.
The T-Mobile and Ashton.
This,
I
is,
had a-
this is the test. This is the test. You just have one of those self checkout kiosks, and if they can use it, they pass. That's the test.
how are you with the self-checkout?
Yeah.
On their phone.
How are you with the self-checkout?
I don't use them.
Ooh,
there you go. There you go. He's out.
I don't use
he's
them.
out.
I mean, I try not to use them. Why do you think? Why is that?
Why
bad?
do you hate them so much? They're so
Because
convenient.
it's taking away jobs from people.
It's not. No, it's not.
It is.
It's putting those people to work in more needed areas in the grocery store.
No, it's not because how is Amazon not have anybody working in the grocery store?
Those are two completely different situations. You're talking about that's a complete. That I agree with you on.
This
That
is-
kind of
I'm
automation
gonna tell
is
you
taking.
why would you think that I would say it's taking away jobs? It's taking away basic level jobs for people to understand responsibility. That's all it is.
The small form automation of it happening at a grocery store, they're just putting those people to work in other areas of the grocery store. But
What areas would they be sending them to?
usually like the kitchen or the back, or like the areas they need it
Okay,
the most.
my prime that's my point. My point is they're taking them out of communicating with other people. This is why younger people don't communicate anymore.
all right.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Insane.
Because their people don't know how to. Dude, haven't you noticed? Like I said, you don't work around. Well, you do. You work in bars. The people who came in pre-pandemic to the people who are 21 now act very differently. True or false?
Not enough for me to agree with you, but true.
But they
true.
do to a point.
To a point.
I had a guy here. I had a kid here yesterday come in, and he couldn't get the ATM to work, and he had no money. And I was like, "Oh, you could just Zelle me." And he goes, "What's Zelle?" And I was like, "It's a money app." He's like, "I don't know how to use it." I'm like, "How old are you?" He's like, 25. And I was like, "Why am I?"
I'm surprised he didn't know
I didn't
more
know
about the
that
apps.
could be now. That could
Did
be, and
he
again,
have
that-
a Yahoo?
Why he did use Chase Bank, so he did figure it out, and he was a very nice kid, and he tipped me well.
That-
And I
that
appreciate
could- that could be-
but that's besides the point. I'm just making a point that, but But when he was sitting in the chair, though, he's very quiet. I mean, he's nervous, obviously. He's never been in here before. But I noticed, though, people are a lot more, they're not as open to conversations nearly as much as people were because people don't interact with people as much. You go to a bar, look at the people in the bar. They're sitting there with each other and they're sitting there texting on their phone. They're not communicating. It's taking away that kind of communication that this is why Gen Xers are yelling at, like, these kids are not even, all they do is on their phones, but it's my fault. I understand because it's me as a parent, the Gen Xer teaching the kid. And when the kid's crying, you just put a friggin' phone in front of his face. And that's the problem. That's how we raise our kids.
It's so crazy that you went on this rant because I literally had a section in my notebook called...
Pete yells?
I really had a section in this called the Old Man Radio Show.
But do you not see where I'm coming from on that, though?
I mean, if you want my actual opinion, some stuff in there made sense to me. The stuff about putting screens in front of kids' faces as parenting is messed up.
Right, and that's our fault, and I take full credit for that because that's my generation.
But like a lot of that, I agree with. Like there probably is a decline in people like being social.
Yeah. No, I mean that's true. I mean that's just also the pandemic didn't help.
Yeah, that's hard to argue with.
That accelerated that.
But I think the stuff
and that's what makes it even worse is when we don't give people jobs to go just do simple things to interact with other
But here's
humans.
the economic impact of that is like, why would the company be incentivized? Because for them it's automation, less employees, less people to pay taxes on, less.
I mean that's capitalism at its finest.
That's what I'm saying.
I get it, but it's like at the same time. Do you go to a bank and deposit money in a bank without talking to a teller? Like, do you put money in your bank? I would never do that. I wouldn't just go put money in a machine and hopefully it comes back correctly. Like, I wouldn't do that. Do you do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You do that?
Yeah.
I don't go. I just deposit everything on my phone. I don't even go to bank.
If I have cash, I'll go to an ATM.
Yeah.
You will deposit cash into an ATM. You will not go to a teller at the bank?
I'll only go to a teller if I really need to. But no.
Okay. See, I always go to the teller because I like interacting with humans, not fucking machines. But that's just me because I'm used to that. That's my profession. It's just dealing with people all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's that? What'd you say?
I said that's because you saw Terminator in theaters.
This is true.
Skynet. Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
And Terminator 2 does suck, for the record.
I think your generation loves yelling
We do.
about that.
But because it does.
I'll just be at work, bro. I'll just be at work. Like some dude, like Pete, will sit down and order a drink
And start.
and then just talk about this to me.
Yeah,
And I just have to be like,
Do they think of you?
you guys are so mad about it.
But do they think of you
I'm
as
part of
a
the problem.
But they don't.
Oh no, I'm part of the
with you.
problem.
They're
They're
blaming
coming
you.
at me. You're being very
Interesting.
nice about it, but usually the older people who come into my bar,
They're like, you're fucking lackadaisical generation.
I'm like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
Then they'll talk about my tattoos. I'm like, well, you have tattoos.
Oh,
Like,
they
What
hate
does
it.
that mean?
That's the other thing is you guys are bad about that.
Who? Me?
Your age group.
Probably a little older than him.
Older
but-
than me.
Yeah.
Much
That's
older. Yeah.
that's
Older
probably
than you. Older
that's
than
probably
you.
boomers, not me.
They'll be,
Gen
everybody
X.
has a tattoo now.
Gen
Yeah.
Xers, every Gen Xer has a fucking tattoo.
They'll be like, everybody has a tattoo.
I
And
remember
everybody-
my brother he's older than me. When he got a tattoo, my parents had that kind of, my dad was like, you're marking your body. Like this really got intense with it, like.
Sure.
We're gonna have Pete. We should have Pete live out a day in our lives. He wakes up, he checks his Instagram, he makes a little reel, he posts to OnlyFans.
I do all that.
He,
I do all that.
what's? There's got to be some shit that
post
we would
almost
do
every
that
day.
would drive you nuts.
I'm trying to I mean, we're so desensitized though because we have to do this. I think we don't even realize how crazy some of the stuff that we do is now.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing this too long. Like a lot of this stuff. We were just talking about Sohrab was in Peoria last weekend and some of the
This weekend.
Yeah.
I got back yesterday.
And just like people in the industry you have to interact with, like every personality is so weird and interesting, and we just have to deal. Like that's our people in our workspace. We just have to accept it.
Yeah.
But isn't it even hard for you, Vic, especially to do crowd work with
Because
people?
you're stupid.
No. To do crowd
stupid.
work with people who don't know how to communicate.
Yeah, I mean that's why the longer you do stand up, I feel like you get to kind of know as you look at people.
Is
You're
my
like,
towel ready?
Oh my
you
god!
get to
God,
you get to kind of
it's
know.
gonna be so hot. Look at that.
Yeah, go ahead, grab it. Pull it out.
What do you've been heating it in there?
He's been heating
For
a hot
what?
towel
He's been
because he
heating a hot
wanted to
towel.
just get a hot towel because he thinks he's on a fucking airplane.
Yeah, well-
Hey, did you do 2 of them?
Yeah.
Let me get one.
Yeah, Tyler wants one too. Why don't
Well,
we
it's
get
too
hot
hot to
towels?
hold.
everyone?
How do I hold it? How do
With
you
the
hold
tongs.
With
Yeah,
your
there's like-
fingers, don't be a fucking
Say it.
vagina
Oh, it's not
and
that bad.
just
It's
put
not that
the
bad.
thing
It's
up.
actually, it's not that bad. Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, you got to do
Can
that.
I just put it on my face?
You could put it on your balls
Watch-
as far
watch
as
your
I'm
glasses.
concerned. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck what
Well,
you do
please
with it.
don't. They don't have to throw that one out. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's make sure you're on the camera, buddy.
Yeah, come in
Sit
come in
back
frame.
down. Yeah.
Sit back down
Sit
with
back
it.
down, you fucking behemoth.
Hey, put the mic in your other hand. It's gonna work out better for you.
Dude, a lot of our listeners wear hoods
There
like
it
that.
is.
That's
A lot of them do what?
I listen. A lot of our listeners wear hoods like that. Poke a
I
couple
hope-
eye
I
holes
hope
in there.
not.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, me and my brother, we found out what waterboarding was, and we used to waterboard ourselves in the kitchen.
That is-
I
have a video.
That
of
is
it.
white privilege at its
Dude, it
finest.
was.
Did
You're
you
having
remember-
fun with
do you remember-
torture?
One
What
at
the
a time.
fuck?
Who's got questions?
Do you remember doing the knockout thing where you go down and you crouch down and you like, and you get up and someone hits you and makes you unconscious? Did you
No,
ever do
that was pre-internet kind of thing, dude. What is that? Yeah, you
That's
got me?
wild.
Dude. It was.
Did you actually do it?
I have the video footage of it. Me and my brother sitting around
You
being
should be
like,
posting
"It's
that.
your turn. It's your turn. I can show you on my phone when we're done."
So do you think now though
My
you're
brother is a fucking maniac. He took an entire pitcher of water, no problem with me. I remember like the flooding feelings of you trying to get air and
Yeah, he was
the water
fine.
coming. Totally fine. But then I recalled that I was like 100 pounds bigger than him. And in the video, you watched me just hold my brother down and like waterboard him for a minute.
Waterboard me
and
for
I'm
the
like, "You're
podcast.
good. Yeah, can I waterboard you for the
Waterboard me
podcast?
for the podcast.
Oh fuck yeah, let's do it."
No, that's how you see it. Well,
dude, I feel like you're gonna die.
we probably should. We
You
probably
already can't breathe. I don't think you should be waterboarding.
I don't think we should put it on Instagram.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna get in trouble for this one.
Should we put it on the Patreon?
Yeah, we'll put this behind a paywall if you
Yeah.
want to.
Oh, that is nice though.
Should we waterboard on the
Say we waterboard Patreon?
Waterboard me for the podcast.
All right.
Patreon.
Yeah, fuck you too, bro.
No, they're like honk if you want it to happen.
Yeah. What else?
Nice socks, Vic.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. What would you do for?
I wouldn't wear those socks.
What would you do?
Oh, but you'd wear that ensemble.
This outfit, there's nothing wrong with this outfit.
What would you do? What else would you do on the Patreon in terms of self harm, but for views?
Sorry.
Do you guys remember that? I don't know.
Self-harm's a bit much.
Do you remember that video where that guy got? Again, this is an age thing because you're not gonna have any idea what I'm talking about, and everything I'm gonna say is gonna sound crazy to you.
All right.
But do you remember that video that was around when we were in high school called Mr. Hands, where that guy gets fucked by a horse?
Yes.
And then he
Yeah,
dies
he
like an
died.
hour later.
I know.
Yeah.
I had my wife's.
Your wife's brother was Mr.
No. My wife. One of my wife's best friends.
Adam's Family High School did you
One
go
of my
to?
wife's best friends is from Iowa, and they had a farm, and their farmhand died from that. He was fucking a horse or a cow.
It's
or some
weird.
shit like
You
that.
are one. You're like, you know how there's like the Kevin Bacon, like 7.
Oh, no,
you're
7
like
degrees of
one from like
separation?
any
Yeah.
weird shit. Like you're like 1 degree of separation.
Yeah, I do know a lot of. Oh Jesus!
I kicked the camera.
You're fine.
We were talking about fucking a horse, and I just couldn't contain myself.
I know.
What did you say about Kevin Bacon?
Like there's a 7 degree. Everyone's connected or related. Is that the thing?
There's a connection.
Some connection in Kevin Bacon with 7
Movies,
degrees
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, movies. And I think for Pete, it's like either someone who's violent or fucks animals.
yeah, or violently,
violently
fucks.
I don't think you can gently fuck an animal. I don't think that's.
Sure, you can. Depends on the size of the animal.
Oh no!
Hey, just to let you know, I was born and raised here. I'm not fucking animals.
What does that have to do with it? Yeah, what is that? What is
I was
your
born in
Amer-
America,
Yeah.
where we don't fuck animals.
Let's check the citizenship of Mr. Hands.
Yeah.
So Mr. Hands was just a guy who died from
Yeah.
the forest.
Died
Yeah, that
from
was a huge video. That
And
was.
there's a moment in the video where they're like, we should take him to a hospital. And the guy's like, no, you cannot take me to a hospital.
I mean, it's also just how do you even mentally get to that place where you're like, man, I should probably fuck this horse.
That's
Like,
what I say
that
about
is-
that's what I
that
say
is-
about zooporn.com.
That's
Yeah,
not
it
a
is,
real
but it's like-
thing, Pete.
Absolutely, zooporn.com is a
All
thing.
those people should be arrested.
It is, but that's what's so funny. It's like
Arrest
you
all
watch
those
that
people.
video, any of those videos of girls getting fucked by dogs or whatever.
All those videos.
What?
And it's like, yeah, it's not bad enough that you're fucking animal, but someone's videotaping you doing
Yeah, there's
that.
a
like,
complicit.
Yeah,
like
there's a
mul-
call time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's fucking.
Hey, we got a hard out. We got a cat coming in.
It is fucking
Very moody
bizarre.
cat. All right, so he's got a big.
Yeah, I got 6. It's bad enough. I got to get fucked by this horse, but I had to be there at 6 a.m.
That's what I'm saying. It's fucking crazy.
Gotta fuck this rooster. Gotta be there at 3 a.m. You know, those things wake up early. It's crazy.
Funny.
Hey guys, real quick. Cheers to double digits. This should be your 10th episode.
Oh, hell yeah. There it is.
Hey,
So-
cheers.
Hear ye.
Hear ye.
Waterboard me.
we only made it to. We almost made it to 10 episodes without someone getting
Could you imagine a
waterboarded.
podcast, like a Halliburton podcast, where there's just
Yeah,
waterboarding
just
people every...
Yeah, just talking about.
On today's episode, we're waterboarding Ahmed over here. Hello.
That's it. Any of that stuff weirds me out. Like the animal stuff. I get. Like, you know, you just
But
have a
you've seen
feeling. I mean, just you come across it when you're
That's what
watching.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though.
But-
That's
No, I mean.
Yeah, no, you don't. I don't know why you don't come across it.
Well, okay.
come across
You don't
it
come
when
across
you're
it.
watching porn.
What
You
I
don't
meant to
come
say.
across it.
I've never been on Walmart.com and been like, oh, there's a pair of tits. Like, you gotta search for. You can't just go on Pornhub and be like,
I would not
that
buy a
lady's doing
Walmart
some
pair of tits.
Crazy
Those would not
shit.
be a good
I
I
pair.
beg
would
to
be-
differ on that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just my
No,
algorithm.
I meant to
Is
say
it my algorithm.
when I was younger.
It could just be.
When you were younger, you didn't have. There wasn't like Pornhub when we were like 10. So there you would just
National Geographic.
you would just Google like tits.
Yeah.
That was how you looked at porn when you were. Oh yeah. So when you were doing that kind of Googling, you would also just Google and weird shit would come up because it's like it was the
Yeah.
dark web or whatever, and you didn't know what you were doing.
Boys. Do you remember the fear the day you found out that like someone can see the history of a computer?
Yeah, then I immediately learned how to
But
delete
like,
it.
Yeah.
do you remember that immediate fear?
Yeah.
It's like finding out you have a baby with someone you shouldn't.
Well, I had a system around that because my pornography website as a kid was called Cheat Codes, but it was spelled with a Z.
Of course,
And it
because
was
it's cool.
it was video game cheat
Yeah.
codes, but on the margins of the page it was all
So they
pornography.
did it on purpose because it could
help
yeah.
kids out.
That's funny. That's really funny.
No, this.
Yeah.
Do you want to sip?
No, I want that.
Do you want some?
No, I don't
You want
that.
you want marijuana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Get your
Don't
baba.
call it a baba.
There you go, babe.
Wait, so Pete, you said you were in Nashville.
Yeah, so I was in Nashville.
What were you doing out there?
So-
Do we really have to listen to those old man stories about going to Nashville?
You were in the land of whites. Tell us about.
Yeah, it
tell-
was definitely the land.
I woke up at 4 and I
Yeah.
drove down there and we got
was-
lunch at the old
Dude, Nashville
country.
sucks. I hate to
Oh,
say
yeah,
it.
really?
It sucks. It's
It
not.
depends on where you going. Where were you in Nashville?
Yeah.
Well, we went down to Broad.
Okay, that part you got to go to next time you're there. Go to East Nashville.
No, I know where to go.
Yeah.
I've been there a dozen times.
Okay.
But
What were you doing down there? Just vacation?
this is a long story.
Well, make it shorter.
I went down there.
Well, we actually just got. We can start the new episode with the story of Nashville. We'll tease it. We're gonna hear about Pete's Nashville tales.
Yeah, we're going to talk about my name.
What happened? Just tell us what happened.
All right, now tell us.
So I was in Nashville. So I went out there with my wife's family. 2 of my nieces turned 21.
Sohrab.
What is your my old man story?
You did set it up like an old man when you're like, well, so my nephew was there,
Yeah,
but you know
like
he's
you
not.
fought it, yeah.
You know he's a
Well,
little different.
Just turned,
yeah.
He just
Well,
turned
well,
11.
he's 6,
and,
and-
No, what's funny is though, because you guys were making
well,
fun
we're
of.
driving down there. And
You were talking about
know.
Party Rock the last episode,
know,
or a couple episodes
yes.
ago. We were talking about Party Rock, and there was a bar there that
LMFAO opened a bar.
That's exactly what they did. That's
They
all the
opened a
music
bar?
They
No, I made that up, but
Oh,
it sounds
that's-
like it's actually happened.
no, they have a bar that's all they play is that Party Rock, and that's
That
where
is a very
I heard
Nashville.
for
That
the
would be
first-
surviving in Nashville. That would be the only place in the country.
Well, it's funny because Nashville's changed a lot since pre-pandemic. It's a lot different. Since
Old
the
man
pandemic.
story. It's changed so much. Since
No,
Yeah.
dude.
Too much diversity there. If I
No,
have to say.
Michelob Golden Ultralight, $10 a can.
This is the most old man story imaginable.
Patrice O'Neill had that great bit. He goes, "I make my girl tell me the end of the story so I can decide if I want to invest
All
in
right,
it."
we won't talk about Nashville then. Go fuck y'all. Fuck y'all.
No, we want to know.
Okay.
No,
we
I was
want to
just-
know. We want to know.
This is why I'm a Gen Xer and you're
Yeah.
fucking turd that you are.
No. We want to hear it. We want to hear. Tell us more.
Okay, so
No,
shitty-
those I just finally heard that song. That shock.
Yeah.
Now I know what you
Now
guys.
you know what-
When I
okay.
heard it in the bar, I
But
was like,
what we were saying, it is a very like that type of music is it's purely for part. Like there's no
Oh, yeah,
other.
totally.
You don't listen to that on your commute to work. You know?
for sure. That's what's so funny about it. My wife
There
was
has
like,
been a tragedy. We shall play shots. shots to commemorate this
Yeah.
fallen soldier.
It was a trip, though. It's a trip.
Did you take a shot during the song?
I did not take a shot during the song. I was pretty stoned. for the
Okay.
whole.
No, I was gonna say you had to be on.
I was
something.
with her family.
Well, we grabbed the nephew and the nieces and we drove down to Nashville.
No, we didn't drive. We flew.
Well,
I did go to my
Michelob is gosh darn near $10 now, and it's changed so much since we went last time. Before
I can't wait for millennials to start bitching about their fucking problems.
I really like
and
when
then I can sit here and make fun of you.
like when old people tell a story about, and they'll be like, and they'll give you a time frame, and it's always linked to a national tragedy. They'll be like, well, yeah, the last time we went to Nashville, the Oklahoma City bombing had just happened. Now you see.
Right after the Dust Bowl,
Right
after
the Dust Bowl,
things were damp. It was.
Yeah, this was soon after the Atlanta Olympic bombing.
But it's very specific. Yeah, right after they found those 3 retarded boys in the ditch, and you're like, oh shit, that was
about one nightfall after that.
A fortnight.
About 2 weeks after.
Well, and with that being said, I will be in Nashville December 5th at Zany's Comedy Club. So quick
That's
little
the
plug.
disaster people are going to talk about. This was about 2 days after Vic Pandia came to the.
Very funny. So if you remember, I think this is a couple years ago, the Zanies in Nashville, a truck drove through the wall. And guess who was there the day before that happened?
Vic Pandia.
Was Vic Pandia.
That guy was like, he figured out he missed the show.
So
and he was
everyone
like,
was posting, all these comics were assholes. Like, man, Vic bombed so hard, someone drove a truck through the wall. I mean,
That's
very funny. Very funny. So, but yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen now? Michelob Ultra might be $11 after that. I don't know.
Michelob, the last time I was there, a Michelob was a Kopek.
Go back.